Hey, brothers, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi. Let me greet everybody real quick. Geboren hardu gudag ola oi bang vasas los bonja mizmi kelabawani konnichiwa. Ni hani ama sani bonani jambo habari wadani. Assalamu alaikum shalom kumusaka kumusako kayo talafa lava soifua. Now, I want y'all to understand that in my stay, especially in Brazil, some of y'all that have been with me, um, there's some things about my relationships um, that I'm revealing as to why I'm not marrying anyone there, especially the one y'all thought we were going to become husband and wife and marry. And one of the things is this, that one, that I require somebody that is for me, since I'm the prize. See, I'm the prize because I'm the one that women are going to hold responsible for financing, taking care of them, direction, and all the rest of it. The women aren't the prize. Women like this is what I can get in Brazil. I'm not too sure about Colombia, but what I do know is I've been running across girlfriends from Venezuela uh, when I was here in Colombia in the past, and Afro-Colombianos. All right. So I was on a car ride, and to break it down, if y'all pay attention and look at the actions, stop listening to what the BAW, the B-Dub, the black woman, the black American woman, the treasonous ones. Stop listening to what they are saying and look at what and who they are choosing. They are choosing to destroy us by way of the government. So they are traitors to the community, those that do that. But the majority of them have children, and the majority of them had children from thugs and felons. And most of the children who aren't being taken care of are the product of thugs and felons. And this is according to research. So I break this down as I picked up a brother that this is proof that it's not a money thing, right? BW like thugs, BAW like thugs. And game is for simps. So stop listening to these so-called hustlers trying to put you on game. They're not trying to do nothing but seek the same attention like black women and screw you out of money. If you don't want to play games, get a passport. Leave the U.S. Find women like these laying on the beaches, either on the islands, in Brazil, in Colombia. Go to Southeast Asia. All right, listen to this breakdown. So, basically, who else popped in? Was that Daryl? Don't do it fast.
Oh, okay.
And when you get to like 20, stop.
Oh, I'm past that.
All right, that's good. That's good.
Okay.
They'll lock me out.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, so basically, let's talk about what's going on here. So, brothers and sisters, my sisters to get in, and I try to send my but anyway,
There we go. All right, brothers. Look like I'm back.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that. Hit kind of a dead spot while we driving. All right.
Jamar, Ghost Dog,
Okay.
and Bertha. Bertha here.
Hey, Bertha. Hey, did you get what you get? Hey, Bertha, did you get what you get?
Say thanks. She said thanks for the love to give. Got them 2 days ago, Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay. All right. So, anyway, one of the things that's really bothered me for a while, and we've talked about, I'm rolling with Texas Marine. We rolled up here to funky, well, not funky work, but I used to have a kung fu school, as y'all know, up here, and he met my supplier. Okay, and on the way up, we had a bunch of discussions about some things that have been going on. All right, that we really never really paid close attention to, or did we? And then we started, me personally, I started to reflect on the BS that was going around about men and women, how men need to have game. And one of the things started to stick out like a sore thumb, and that is that most of the people that said that they have all this game were trash as men. They measured their manhood by how much babonging they could get. Now, many of them were lying, fabricate. Oh, and I just got game. I just run game. This, that, and the other. And I just dip in and out of anything that I want because I got game. And the more I started to hear that, the more I started to recognize that men who use game, think they have game, want to play games to talk to women, were the biggest simps out there. And I will explain to you why. Let's start off like this. That I was the one that put out the seed, in explaining something. But there was a reason by it, because it was important. And one of the biggest things in this dating arena, and all these people calling all these people to waste their money, time, and effort, and sending all these people, making them rich, money to get a date. All these people that need dating coaches, this, that, and the other, all these people need a bunch of this other crap. They're forgetting one very, very important and significant thing. That our purpose for relationship had nothing to do with just busting one up. It had nothing to do with female validation. The primary reason for relationship is to procreate. Period. Hands down. The next thing is to be able to protect, nurture, and take care of what's been procreated. This is why any man worth his weight in anything should never marry or take as a wife, we'll use both terms, but the proper term is take as a wife a woman that cannot bear him a legacy. Period. Hands down in the story on that. On my video on Rumble, I pointed out the type of women we had to deal with, and I reinforced the notion that we as men have to start judging the women. But one of the things that I started to realize is that when you look at simp culture, people really don't understand how to define it to what it really is. Now, I said this before, and I took a lot of heat. I mean, I had a video that was getting close to 1 million views before my channel got destroyed. And basically, I said the acronym, someone that idolizes mediocre, yeah, well, you know what the P stand for. All right. The first time I heard it, back when my channel was really, really big, was from Sotomayor. All right. So I had accredited him with the acronym. Now, Too Short and a lot of them was using it for an abbreviation for simpleton. In this case, both the acronym and the abbreviation can apply to the subgroup that attacks men that have their stuff together and have the mentality to know that they may need to seek refuge and someone that could bear their seeds from outside of this matriarchal disaster that we call the so-called Black community. All right. So when we really think about it, one must ask themselves, who are these people? I mean, really, who are these people that attack heterosexual Afro men who want to seek women that could carry on his seed so that he can have a legacy? Who are these people? And the other thing is, where is my phone? Oh, got it. All right, who are these people? All right. That's the first question. I just want to see something. I'm not texting y'all.
Antonio Johnson just stepped in and Elmo checkmates.
Hey, what's up, man?
Say a command.
I didn't say that. Exit. All right, so now let's go over some things. The first thing we're going to deal with is the BW. BW. All right. Before we do that, I'm going to just remind people. I'm looking at it, 123. All right. I'm going to remind people that my PayPal me, the Cash App, is in the description box for those that like to help me out in what I do. I ain't going to harp on that because I know y'all probably spend enough money already. All right.
He lied. Just asked what's the topic.
Okay. So basically, we're going to discuss first how the ability to be with the BW of today is not about money. All right. And then we're going to go into how those that think they run in game or have game, those are the true simps. All right. Relationship has never been about game. Game is just that, something that you play. And if you're playing for the goal of just getting some, then something is really wrong with your manhood as a man. We're not talking about you as a male, because any hetero male can just pop up in and out of stuff in a heartbeat, right? But we're talking about how something is seriously wrong with the culture when you get a bunch of dudes that think that their only lot in life is to notch up the belt, as they say, forgetting purpose and everything. So these game hopping dudes are dudes that live without a real purpose or don't know what the purpose is to be in a relationship. And that's why they are quick to jump down brothers' throats that like to leave the country and go seek wife material from another place and try to be critical and condemn them. Oh, you ain't got no game. I'll be the first one to admit, I don't got game. I ain't learned no game, don't want to have no game. Period. It doesn't keep me single the rest of my life not having game. It just means that, yeah, that's right. I am talking to women of other cultures because, yeah, that's right. I'm going to say it for everybody. The black woman won't talk to me. But I don't give a F. See, I don't need to be interested in somebody that would require me to learn something on top of the tools that I already bring to the table. As a matter of fact, for them to require me to have game means that they are not worth my time. So now them and all the rest of these people getting angry because a lot of women that have supermodel looking quality, like me, my non-game having self. All right, so let's look at some things real quick. All right, first off, it's never about money. Getting with the BW has never been about money, because if it were, all right, the children would be doing a lot better than they are. But as we discussed, 59% of black women have multiple children from multiple babies' daddies. 61% of so-called black men who have multiple children from multiple babies' mamas are dudes that just got out of prison. Okay, so you know they don't got money. So if it was about money, then those wouldn't be the guys that they would be that they would love and cherish. But we know they love and cherish the prison guys. Why? Not because they love Afro men. They love the control they have over them. They have to come, the prison guys have to come to the house and be taken care of by the BW. If you know and notice in the political arena, the people that control the system, all right, the BW is not getting anything of our own merit. Period. Anybody in the political arena is not a leader. Understand this. We need to stop calling these people black leaders that are in the political system. They don't lead nothing. They're not leading us. They're users, black users, but they're not leaders. All right. So, Exhibit A. The majority of men that have multiple children from multiple babies' mamas are men that just got out of jail. And we understand that for the most part, they're not going to have a lot of money. Exhibit B. We also know that upward to 70+% of BWs have children as single mothers. And given that most Afro men, according to a study done by the CDC, and I can't look at that. I'll let you speak on that. All right. Given the study done by the CDC, most Afro men pay their child support and try to be in their children's life. But if most children are not getting the financial help they need, well, that makes sense, since most of the people making children are dudes that just came out of jail and prison. And keep in mind that these people are the minority of Afro men. And I mean the slimmest of minorities. And they are outproducing the majority of Afro men in baby naked. Why? Because this is who the females are choosing. All right. They never had to have any money. Most don't have a six-pack either. Many are shorter than 6 feet. The only person that they require to be 6 feet, have a six-figure income, and a six-pack is a good Afro man. A man that is able to take care of a home. And why do they require that of a good man? Because they want to eliminate him from the pool. In other words, these women do not like good men based on their choices. I'm not saying based on what they say. All the women say, oh, I want a good man. But when you look at who they're having the babies by, all right, so we got to go by action. All of the women, any woman, they'll say, I want somebody that's going to be a provider. They only want them to be a provider. Listen to Mrs. Average. She only looking for a father figure and a provider and somebody that makes 6 figures after she had that first child. All right. And then she thinks she made something because she's making money, forgetting that men don't care about what kind of money you make, your degree, or anything. And that's why a lot of degreed women with money are going to die alone with no legacy. All right. So what's really going on? What's really going on is that the so-called black society is so lost that it is not the job of the good brothers and sisters to save it. Period. It's the job of the good brothers and sisters to wake up the youth that are going to wake up so that they understand what's going on, and that legacy can be built outside of this community. So I was in the discussion yesterday talking to Texas Marine, and we were looking at how many of the young people are who have girlfriends or relationships with women that are not of the race of their mom. In other words, they ain't black. We noticed that most of the younger generation are in relationships with primarily Hispanic women. All right? Because they realized also that The ones playing game is all about game. The females that want to do what game, they're all about games. All right. You can't build a serious legacy if people are so busy playing games. All right. And so when you look at the choices, the evidence of who the BL female, who they're choosing, then you got to understand a couple of things. One, they're choosing men that cannot provide a legacy for whatever offspring they make. We know this because all we got to do is just look at the statistics and numbers. Two, these women will get with a woman with no money. They'll get with a man with no money. And you'd be hard pressed to find a single woman in the street. All right. Because she can always find a man, but they can't always find a good man. And once they get into the habit of eliminating them so much, they will never have the space or time when if one pop by that they will be ready for them or good enough for them. That's the other thing. They are simply not good enough for a good man. A lot of these women go to church to have God send them this this non-existent man, a 6 foot, 6-pack, 6-figure income man that's going to do her bidding. But no real man will do that. But the dudes with game will tell them that that's what they'll do because that's the game. Lies and tries. All right. So as we were sitting here, this is anecdotal. As we were sitting here and we're going, we're hitting places and stuff like that. And I remember 2 serious relationships that happened because of my ability to fix computers. All right. So I'm going to talk about one real quick because this is important. Because I am able to see what happened after I left. In this relationship, back when Black people meet and Black Planet was the thing, I met a female on one of them 2, right? And so we was just conversing, and so we was talking about what I do and things. And when I mentioned I fix computers, she's like, something's wrong with her computer. Right? And I fixed a lot of people's computers back then. So I would just go house to house fixing the computer. But in this particular one, this was a fine sister at the time. All right? So I go over her house. Of course, the computer was in the bedroom. Texas Marie, of course. Her computer was in the bedroom, right? So I go and I'm just sitting there. Now, I'm just sitting there fixing the computer. Because Brother Texas Marine, he could tell you, once I start to do something, that's all my mind is on, the task at hand. So I'm fixing this computer. What did the white say? All right, well, let me finish this. So I'm fixing the computer. All right.
He responded to somebody.
Okay. I'm fixing the computer. We're sitting there. So I go in, defrag and stuff, and I did a lot of stuff. You know, that was back when you had to type in all the codes. DIR, space or dash, whatever, /W/P, config, defrag, and stuff like that. And so I got to the part where I'm loading Windows. All right, got to the part where I'm loading windows on her thing. And so now we have to wait. And this woman been staring at me work the whole time, and I just had no idea. So I sit back, put my back up against the thing, and then she just come hop in my lap, playing a kiss on, just like that passion kiss. And I never left her house, but I mean, for a while. And by for a while, meaning that we was from that point on, from that night on, we was just an item, right? All right, we was an item. Now, I maintained my apartment, right? I always had my apartment. But, like, it's like I paid rent, but I never stayed at my apartment. All right. And so, like, something happened to her sister. We was going to let her sister stay at my apartment, which she did for a little bit and stuff because I was there, right? Now, what ended up happening is this. Payday loans. This is what broke us up. Payday loans. Now, this is one of the things where now we're like, we can't do now what I was trying to do back in the day. She had 2 children, 2 boys. And these boys followed my lead. And I'm going to tell you how she effed things up really bad. These boys followed my lead. We start getting into trouble because I was handling the finances, right? So with all my money and her money, she had a lot of debt with payday loans. And so I came up with a plan and we paid off all the payday loans. So she didn't need payday loans anymore. So the bills were taken care of. Food, all that stuff was taken care of. I moonlit down the street. I still was doing my National Guard thing. This is before I went back into, so I was Army, National Guard, went back into the Army. And so we start getting into debt again. And I'm like, where's this debt coming from? And it was the payday loans. She started going back out and using the payday loans, for weed. All right. So we would get into an argument over that. Now, there used to be this 15-year-old, he was 15 or 14. There was this 15 or 14-year-old boy that stayed upstairs, and he used to come down and play the video games with her sons. It was her son's friends. So I'm going on my AT, or my training, and I come back to find out that not only is she deeper in debt with the payday loans, but she called herself like, if I'm going to sit there and put my foot down about how we shouldn't be in debt, this, that, and the other, and she couldn't control me, she wanted to get somebody she could control. So this Hispanic 14 or 15-year-old boy, she started messing with. I mean, bound chicken wow wow messing with. So I left her alone. The minute that happened, bam. Now her sons, a couple things happened. Her sons started to get so out of control, it was ridiculous. And I know this is because the school kept calling me, but I told the school, I am no longer in a relationship with her. I'm gone. Right? Every once in a while, she would tag me on email or whatever, but I was out of there, right? Period. Ain't no going back. So this is years later. I mean, sometime, maybe a couple months ago, maybe last year, we run across each other kind of on Facebook, and I was like, wow, She found a simp, right? She found one, and I'm gonna say why. And from what I can tell, while she living her best life, the boys did not turn out so well as men. They're not really independent. They still stay with their mom. They're grown. And there's a lot of this going on. The second time I went to fix somebody's computer, well, it was an ex, it started some stuff again. So if you really want to get into a woman's heart, fix computers. But the point of the matter is this, that this thing with relationships have never been about money until the female made it about money to be an exclusionary tactic. When a woman wants you, you could be doing something like fixing a computer, and if she wants you, you will know. If they're playing games, it behooves you to leave those games alone, is because she wants to use you. The simps that think they playing game, they're getting used. All these dudes, I got game. They got game until she ended up pregnant, and then for 18 years, yep, game going to bite them in the behind. Oh, and sometimes more than 18 years if you're in the wrong state. All right, and so this is what it is. Now, all these dudes, what makes them simps is they ain't pimps, because pimp ain't bragging on nothing. They too busy pimping, right? They're simps because they spend a lot of time being critical of the decisions of other men. They spend so much time being critical of the decisions of other men. They all up in other men's. I hate when they do that.
What happened over here that made him jump?
No, there's a car on the side.
Yeah.
But anyway, all these game having people, if you notice what they're doing, they have everything to say about a good Afro man having options, but not a single one of them go ahead and attack the BW. Think about that for a second. They spend so much of their time, all these, oh man, you ain't nothing because you ain't got no game. You ain't got no game. That's why you want them white women, because you ain't got no game. You got to have game if you want to. And they don't even realize the stupidity of what they're saying. You have to have game to talk to a woman that really don't want you to leave a legacy. I mean, really, that's the ticket. They don't want you. They don't want to leave a legacy. This is who they're saying you have to have game for. When you can go and get a woman from another community and basically produce and rebuild. And you rebuild starting from your family, your seeds. What was we talking about on the way up? About oh, here's another thing. Back in the day, we've watched things get progressively worse. All right, because we did not understand the type of people that these that the system was parading before us, and the wickedness that was coming with them. All right. So at the end of the day, we did not end up with much but pain and suffering. And less. All right. And it is these dudes talking about this gang, this so-called gang, that is trying to maintain this dysfunctional situation that is a no-win situation for any good Afro man. And if it's not a no-win situation, or if it is a no-win situation for an Afro man, then the whole community is doomed. It's already done.
You go from 80% marriage in 1965 pre to 20% or less?
Yes.
In what, not even 60 years?
Right. All right. And so,
or basically in our lifetime.
In our lifetime, we have seen the decline of relationships to the point that it is unrepairable. And the reason why you can't repair it is because the one that has been poisoned or destroyed. Now, if you destroy a bunch of males, the strong ones can rebuild if there's enough females. Who's this?
Grown man.
What did he say?
He just here to listen. He don't see why he don't see how black women are hard headed. He said he agreed with some but not all. And they said if you at this point you can't say not all.
Right.
At this juncture in the black community, you cannot say not all.
Right, and not all is a cop out. Period.
The numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie. Here's the thing.
90% of black women that are married to black men. But most of the black men are not married to black women. So that means it's a very small population of married black women. Very small.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Understand this. That not all is BS. Because the vast majority have poisoned us. Understand this. The reason why Biden was able to sit there and tell all these so-called black leaders that you ain't getting crap, you better go talk to the Hispanics. The reason why he was able to say that, because he knew that because of the not all black women, that the Afro males in the United States, the Afro community in the United States was going to be extinct. We do not have the numbers right now to be politically viable because we are not having children, because the females, the black women have made a decision not to have Afro children. So now they don't matter politically. And he's right.
In almost in any other way, shape, or form.
He's right. Biden is right. But we tried to tell y'all that they'll use you. All right, they'll use you because as the Afro male go, not the people, as the Afro male go, so that the consciousness of the world. Now, we was talking to the lady who used to be my supplier for my Kung Fu school, right? And she is from Korea. I think she's from Korea.
She's definitely from an Asian country.
And I'm thinking Korea.
Not your band, the way she talked about it.
Yeah. So that's Chinese or Korea.
Yeah.
All right.
Or Taiwan.
One
of the three.
Yeah, one of the three. Well, you know what? We never discussed that. But anyway. All right, this is how cool. All right, he could tell you, I have a close relationship with her.
It's an understatement.
Yeah, it's an understatement. All right, very close relationship with her. I could have called her up and say, I need these things and could you mail them? Right? But the purpose, and he didn't understand that the purpose of my trip mainly was to go see her, see how she was doing. And we talked, There was a guy that was a friend. We had competing schools, but some of the times we joined our classes together. And those were the days when I used to be a teacher. All right. And so as we talked, and she even understood this, I said, everything that's made people money came from the Afro male as far as culture. Like the hip hop, all the music, this, that, and the other. The Afro male. Not the whole community, the Afro male. See, what people don't understand, and this is what I told her, the reason why there is an attack by the simps, by the females, on us, the hetero Afro male. Go ahead with this.
He said, I understand what you're saying, but you see some of it fall on we black men.
Hold on. And I told you, I'm going to cover that. You're late. All right. I'm going to cover that in Ezekiel 22. All right. That's going to be tonight. All right. I don't know if I'm going to make a video and put it up on Rumble. So y'all need to look in my description box and just subscribe to the Rumble, because I've been putting up a lot of videos there. All right. So basically, y'all need to go to my channel and subscribe to my Rumble, and you can see the videos there. All right. Or I might do another live. All right. And I might do another live. Yeah, I might do another live. All right. But in the other live that I do, we're going to be covering Ezekiel 22.
Elmo Checkmate said, females want the weave sales while singing jingle bells can go to hell.
Lord. Yeah, bro. Okay. So, yeah, you don't play. All right. So here we go. Now, here's the thing. But there's a problem with the statement, right? And this is why we're talking about the simp culture. That was a simp move right there. Because the topic of discussion is the females and the simps, right? When I talk about the black males, and I have in many videos, but they're not really the crux of the problem when we talk about the community. When I talk about the black males, I'm talking about the Afro males as a community. Understand this. I'm talking about the Afro males as a community. Oh, he came from that way.
Popo.
No, I don't think it's a popo. I don't see the lights. All right. I'm talking about the Afro males as a community. Not as a community, as individuals. See, the women are responsible for how the community has been depressed, because when you kill off our armies in your belly, that is solely on you. You cannot bring the male up in this. And one of the things that really upsets me is when somebody comes up and hear what's going on from real men as we discuss these real issues and talk about, well, the man has a part in it. This is about the men, the simps. We've been talking about the men, the simps, for a while. How they have allowed this, the simps, like the ones that, while we're talking about the simps and a woman, all right, and the simps attack on men. I want y'all to understand this. This is what I said. The simps will always attack the man. And this is why it is very difficult, or hardly anybody ever holds the BW accountable for the wickedness that she has caused. Because she always gets cover from some simp that attacks men. This is what a simp does. He attacks the man, either directly or indirectly. So when we're talking about the core of the issues as to why there's no political power, There is no more community. Why our children are damned is not the men. It is going to be the woman who is responsible for the degrading of the community.
Example, for 8 years, Barack Obama never said a negative word about a woman, least of all a black woman. But he spent 8 years talking about how black fathers don't step up. But he never sat there and talked about all the paternity fraud put on men through women.
Now, I want you to understand what Barack Obama did. He's a liar. And this is why he's a liar. Because that study that came out with the CDC that showed you that not only do Afro fathers step up, but they step up better than the white man and the Hispanic,
And
according to
better off, better children when they're with the men.
Yeah. All right. So when the CDC came up with that, you know that that study that was in orange and how, and they's like, wait a minute, they turned out to be better fathers. So they a lot of these studies that showing that Afro men have been stand up men, while other guys said, well, it's the man's fault. No, it's not.
And then what did his wife do to him?
Interview. Okay, as a black mother.
No, as she said, a single mother.
As a single mother.
She was a single mother.
Yeah. But anyway, so listen to this. All these studies are coming up showing that the men have been holding it down for themselves. Most men are either married, meaning having wives who have children, have them with their wives, or don't have children at all. Most Afro men in the Afro community. Greater than 61, and when I said 61%, that's 61% of all men, where in the study it said that, but to the greater degree, it is the Afro men coming out of prison and jail that have occasion. So basically, the Afro males coming out of jail was like at 70%, but when they combined the Caucasian and the Hispanics, since they don't do it as much, that drew things down. In other words, you have a bunch of women actively choosing these men to have children with.
Sometimes while the men are still in prison.
Who's that? Grown men?
Grown man. So how can we protect ourselves as black men? Leave them alone.
Exactly. The Exodus. Yeah. All right, Exodus. Remember, most of our forefathers in scripture had to go outside the community to get a wife from another community.
Wives of another nation.
They had to go to another nation. In Ezra and in Deuteronomy, when you look at the cultures that we are not to wife, they are all black, as they say. I want y'all to understand that. And that's because most of the cultures were black. So when people like, oh, you need to stick with a black. No, you can't be with a woman that is in another religion, that is pagan. That would be Christianity. In witchcraft, weave, makeup, exit. Weave, makeup is witchcraft. You know, y'all saw the video I did where, oh, y'all got to go to Rumble and see it. Y'all need to go to Rumble and see the video that I put up of what they were able to do with a dude that they then put next to a female.
You get into it. You say what you're saying makes sense.
All right. Remember, the scripture was really clear. We take care of our widow, our elderly, the fatherless, but the single black mother, no. we need to call her. Oh yeah, that's
harlot. Harlot.
All right, hold it. Yeah, we need to tell that story. All right, we need to call her out for what she is, and the righteous need to stand behind the righteous, because the unrighteous will stand behind the unrighteous. It is a battle that we must engage in. So one, as I pointed out in my other video, Ezekiel said we, the Son of Men, are supposed to judge. But we're not doing that. Part of our jobs, as Genesis point out, as rulers, are to be judges over our house. We judge the children when they're doing stuff wrong. Understand this. And we even hand out punishment.
Call it parenting, don't they?
Yeah, that's what they used to call it. All right. So we judge the woman when she's doing wickedness, because that's our job. It is not the women's job to judge.
You're giving your power to a woman.
Proverbs 31, give not thy strength to a woman whose ways destroys kings.
Community. Go.
Period.
How can you keep your house in order if you are not the judge of your house, the ruler of the house? A man cannot have his house in order if he lets the woman run the house.
Exactly.
As the pimping pastor saying, and these women saying in the Baptist church, you out of position.
Exactly.
But they out of position.
Exactly.
And they just Stockholmed us out of position.
All right. Now they Stockholm some of us, right? Now, here's the thing. The Most High always has a remnant. All right. So I want y'all to understand this. There will always, the Most High will always have a remnant that's going to adhere to the commandments. All right. So I want y'all to peep this. The Most High is going to have a remnant. Most people are going to be wicked because they see wickedness is paying. And remember, the goal of the game running simps is not to build a legacy, but it's just to get some. You know, the chihuahua wow. That's their only goal, the belt notch. That's it. Their only goal, that's the principle by which they live. And if you don't run game like they do and have their same goals, then to them, you're not as much of a measure of a man than they are, because they could run around getting some from all these women and continuing to create the havoc that you have. What's this in red? That in red? Oh, that's my glasses. Okay. All right. So that's basically it. They have no idea what legacy is supposed to be, right? And this is why they are so keen to attack real men who say, you know what? That's right. If I need game to get a BW, then I don't need them. Period. Because they should have been trained to seek a man for his ability to raise up a legacy, like the Hispanic women are raised to do. The Filipino women, we talking about wife material, the Filipino women are raised to do that. That's their culture. The Colombians are raised like that. The Mexicans, not in the United States, not Americanized, but non-Americanized Mexicans, they train their daughters that you're going to carry on legacy. Hold on. This is why the Hispanics have become the political power base in the United States today. No one is really strutting nothing with the BW. They done did in the community. period. All right. There is nothing but extinction that awaits us if we keep dealing with those women, especially because of the abortion rates. Go ahead.
And the reporter said Yah had took some of Moses' spirit and gave it to Moses and put it on 70 elder men of righteousness to judge the people. As you can see, he didn't call 70 women for the job, but the men.
Exactly. He always calls the men for the job. All right. Because of our ability to do what needs to be done intuitively and justly. All right. And be able to back up our decision. What we see in our political system is, and when he called for men, we're talking about Hebrews, us, the Afro men. This election has shown us that there is no just, righteous judges in the United States. It showed us how corrupt the preachers are. Oh, if you voted for Trump, think about this. This preacher tried, a simp preacher, again, an attack on Afro men for voting for Trump. And this is a preacher who voted for a dude that called you an N-word in a committee. Him and his boys called you an N-word in committee, saying we need to get rid of that N-mayor on C-SPAN, and you're okay with that.
Two of them, Baltimore and New Orleans.
All right? Hold on, wait. And then you're for the party that murdered off so many of your babies that you no longer have political clout. And now you look like a buffoon even to the very men that you are trying to be critical of. Because we looking at you like, bro, what fight you fighting? Because we ain't got no people. We don't have an army. Your parishioners destroyed them all in her belly.
Subpar housing.
For subpar housing.
Subpar insurance and food stamps.
For food stamps and subpar housing. Destroyed the community into extinction to where the political power that the Afro people wield is becoming extinct. We are nothing for anybody to worry about now. And none of them women that helped steal the election, and it was stolen, and the proof is coming out. We got fact checkers that are liars. We got a lot of stuff that's going on, but none of them got a position that they thought they were going to get. None of them are in charge of anything. All they got was a job that they could be fired from the person that Biden appointed over them. Why? Because are not trustworthy, and these politicians know that.
They kill off the people, they kill off the traders that help them get in.
Exactly. Have you ever not watched a movie with these Caucasians and traders, how they deal with traders? They use them to betray the heroes and then kill the traders. That's what they do.
You locked up in a black site somewhere where nobody ever know you exist.
That's what they do. You haven't watched their movies? They keep telling you they advertise what they do to traders. They say we use you, then we get rid of you. Because how can we trust you?
Y'all think Guantanamo was new? They been had people
that just because they get some, they're a man. But they leave no legacy, but only destruction, just like the BW. If you look inside the minds of those simps that attack men, they were raised by or are controlled by the BW, which means that they're not even in charge of their own lives. They busy being controlled by the BW. All right, but to hear them tell it, man, I'm doing this, that, and all that, the other. And so if you ain't doing what I'm doing, no, some of us left and we're building a better legacy, at least for ourselves, outside of this disaster of a community. But the difference is we're encouraging other brothers to do so, because now our numbers will not be able to be counted. And now when we go, we preach and we tell and we teach the true history, and they can't control it. Because we are not making babies with the people that have sold their souls out to the very people who had it in their minds to destroy us.
Like McCoy says, they watch the movie, they just don't pay attention to it.
Oh yeah, straight up. That's truth. I mean, pay attention to these people advertise and they have signals and everything, because this is their mentality. They tell you, we will use a traitor, but we will never trust a traitor. A traitor will never get what they think they deserve.
It's been our truth throughout history.
All right. And here's the thing. What is really frightening everyone is that they have lost control over the Afro male. Not the black man or the simp. Because the ones that control the black men and the ones that control the simps are the BWs. Or any woman for that matter, because they're simps. They idolize mediocre, you know what the P stand for, right? So because they idolize it, this means that they make this their goal. And so that's why they make easy attack dogs for the BW as they try to destroy everything. All right, so that's where we are. And when we say it's a lose-lose situation, when we say it is a lose-lose situation, a lot of the simps don't understand that they have no power against real men. All right. The women, they cannot control the real men. And this is angering them and upsetting them. Because now, not only can they not control them, but the real men no longer want them. And here's the thing. And this really upsets them. They are seeing that the real men are still principled, still taking care of the bastard children, still taking care of our elders. It's just that we don't want nothing to do with them.
And it's trickling down to the youth.
And it's trickling down to where the youth, the teenagers, the young, they're not dealing with the BWs. They're moving into the Hispanic population. And another weird thing, as they move into these populations, they start to get this feeling of respect. They start to see what respect feel like, and they like it. So they actually take care of that child. They don't leave. It's no longer belt notch thing. There's some craziness. There is that Latina fire they got to deal with. But at the end of the day, right, they are respected. They like the respect they have of being fathers, even though for many it's too soon. But for the brothers that go to other places, all right, no man in his right mind will go to other place, get respected, and say, you know what? No, I want disrespect. I like the way I've been disrespected. All right, that's just not going to happen. And the story about the guy,
the guy with the Latina girl?
no, the one with the baby.
The child?
Oh yeah.
So it was a young brother.
Hold on, wait. This is Texas Marine speaking.
It was a young brother. Him and his call up BT 1100, got married, and he was the product of a single mother, but she was the product of a mother and father with siblings. So they got married, but he was doing quite well for himself. They were a very Christianized people. So, you know, they got married, and her father was old school, Old Testament Bible.
Hot glory.
So got married, and then they've been married almost 7 years, and they have a 6-year-old daughter. Something happened. He was with her. He took his hospital, so they had to run a test to see if he was compatible. They had to do with her, and they came back and said to him, "Yeah, but we need the father to get tested." He said, "I'm the father." They said, "No, you're not." He said, "Run a DNA test." He said, "We did," and they gave him the results, and he's 0. It's not even a close relative. It's 0%. All right. So that means she got buck wild probably before the ink was dry on the marriage license. So he waited till the holidays, Thanksgiving. He invited all the family to the house, all of it. Her aunts and uncles and cousins, his people, her mom and dad, everybody at the house. And they said, "Oh, thank you." You know, they're talking about, the Lord is good all the time. They say and all that. So
the time the Lord is good.
And so he said, "Hey, I got something for you." They said, "Ooh, we getting a gift?" He said, "Yeah, I got something for you." So he gets up and goes to get a stack of envelopes and hands it out to everybody. And they open it up. Everybody's like, "What? Wait, what?" He said, "Read it." Her daddy throws drink at her and calls her a harlot.
That's Bible, y'all. That's Bible.
Her mama said, "You got to explain. We need some answers." His mama goes, wait. You telling me my grandbaby ain't my grandbaby? So he asked her point blank, "Who's the father?" And she said, "Wait, but baby, all she's ever known is you." He's like, "You've been lying to me every day for 6 years. You've been lying to her every day for 6 years. Period, point blank. You've been lying every day." His mama tried to go into simp mode and get him to keep her. Everybody make mistakes and the baby know you. And he ain't having it. Because her father's there backing him like, "Nah, who's the father? I ain't raised you this way." Woo! The backlash was, he told her, you got a week to get out of my house.
A week?
And
hold on. Remember the part where, do you know who the father is?
Oh, yeah. He asked her if she know who the father is. She said, "No." He said, "Well, how many were you with?" She goes, "Just one." Then how you know who the father is?
Woo!
And the mama keeps telling her, "You need to answer some questions." The mama start going off because the mama ain't gonna go against the daddy, who stood back in the corner and just looking at her, calling her a harlot. I mean, when he said that, the husband, he was like, "Your father got you. I ain't really got to say nothing."
Now, this is how we should have been all the time. Had we been like that, the men just judge for what it is. See, what people don't understand, it said judge not lest ye be judged. And everybody said, judge not. It don't say that. It says, judge not lest ye be judged. By the same meat that you judge one, you shall be judged by.
They leave that part out.
And they leave the whole thing out. So what it's saying is, don't judge somebody if you doing the same thing they doing. Period. But if you're a righteous man, you're supposed to judge somebody. Yeah, and men are supposed to judge. Now, that's Bible right there. And they did that back when they said, when the father told her what she was, all right, everybody was to get that. Now, that dude, he was right. You're supposed to immediately kick her out. She needs to go find the baby daddy. Here's the thing. A lot of things that come through in the hospital, all right, especially when a child needs something,
Yep.
if the mom does this, and the guy's mom didn't understand, oh, but that's all she know. The women don't understand. The women, the whole reason why he finds this out escapes a lot of women. And let me break this down like so. How it escapes them. The primary reason he found out that wasn't his child, because he was trying to help out what he thought was his child, to see if he matches her, because she needed something that a close relative could give her, that only a close relative could give her. The fact that he wasn't his father meant that this child was in danger, because she don't really have her family, and the most important half of her family. Understand this.
The father told her that basically what she's done is kidnapped this man's seed.
Oh yeah.
She kidnapped this man's seed from him that he don't even probably know is out there.
Right, kidnapped this man's seed, and deceived the other man into raising it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And now that man thought he had a seed. He has nothing.
Right.
He has an adulterous wife. That ain't his wife.
Yeah.
Sleep with her. He committing adultery.
No, he ain't committing adultery.
I'm saying, but he's sleeping with another man's.
No. Because if he slept with her first.
That's the one thing we never said, since they're so biblical. Did he? Did he?
Well, isn't that special? All right, so let me see. So, wow.
And this happens more often than not. Men find out the children ain't theirs at a hospital.
Yeah, at a hospital. So now here's the significance. So for bone marrow, for blood typing, all right, when we do a blood cross match, right? A cross match is this. We are matching a donor cells with the serum of the recipient. All right, we're matching the donor's red cells with the serum of the recipient to see if there's either antibodies on the cells or antigens in the serum that's going to cause a reaction that might cause complications before we give you some blood. It's worse than that when you need bone marrow or some other thing. Okay, the match has to be a little more specific, right? So when a child does not know who their father is or who that side of the family is, y'all can imagine the type of problems it causes. All right, you should be able to imagine the type of problems that's going to cause. But women, the BW, do not think about that because she don't care. this is one of the main reasons we must exit. The other reason we must exit because we got to look at the laws of probability and availability. For righteous men, virginity is not supposed to be our thing. The reason why women try to put that on the men to try to make the men like them, it's so that they can have access to men by trying to shame us into thinking, well, we shouldn't want a virgin because we weren't virgin. No, that's not a requirement of men, because our job is to spread seeds.
That's not biblical.
All right. And men can't be virgins. Virgin is the breaking of the hymen. The reason why virginity was so important is because you don't want the woman to cross up the children into one man thinking the child is his that it isn't. Like, and specifically for like this inheritance, or in this case, medical reasons. This is why virginity was important. This is why the woman have to be chaste to one man. Because she's not the seed bearer. Right? And this is why a man should only have as many wives as he can take care of. If most of you can only take care of one woman and some children, then that's all you're supposed to have. Some of you in the kingship and stuff like that, big balling like that. All right, then yeah, do your thing. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. Because I can't tell you who to suck to. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. All right. I'm not going to sit up here and try to tell you what's this. I'm not going to sit up here and try to tell you this, that, and the other. I'm just spitting up. What did he say?
With the Kevin Samuels viral reaction, obviously the gender war is not over. With COVID and automation events, every group get together except ADOS. Sad, real sad.
Well, here's the thing. I beg to differ on that. Because the ADOS are getting together, but it's only the men. And they're getting together minus the women because of another thing that happened. All right, and I'm going to break this down. All right. ADOS is no longer dealing with the women because every time men got together to speak on the issue and to solve some issues, it's been the BW who have just summarily came in and destroyed the Afro men's ability.
179 cash. No, 179. She said 179.
I ain't worried about that yet.
The beaver on the bucket.
All right.
In 1/2 mile,
Okay.
take the exit on the left to I-45 South.
Okay. So when we talk about this,
Turn left at the traffic light, then make a
which way?
U-turn.
Oh, Bucky's on the other side. Everybody's going there. All right. So this is what has happened. These females have utterly destroyed the relationship with the working and building and problem-solving men, either personally or as an example of widespread destruction, like in 2017 when they destroyed the channels of black men on YouTube. They didn't go after a single white man.
Make a U-turn, then take the first left.
They didn't go after a single white man, but they destroyed the channels of Afro men. Utterly. There was a lot of, some of y'all probably here remember that, because some of y'all, it probably happened to. Okay, I guess I'll go here. Some of you, it probably happened to personally. All right. So I'm going to tell you this. You're looking at a person who is, some of you who followed me, I was putting people back in college. I was buying refrigerators for college students. I was paying holds on people that were locked out of college because of holds. All that I was doing with the YouTube money. These women came in, stopped all of that. I was paying, I was using the money so that when people had a problem with rent, they could just come to me and we go down to the rent offices and right away. You didn't fill out no paperwork or anything. I was doing all that with money and y'all helped with that. But then when they destroyed the channel, I stopped that and now I only do for children, right? I learned that not only can I not work with them young women, but they don't help anything. Most of the sisters that help are sisters, old school minded sisters. All right. So that's where we are right now. All right. But I'm going to say that as I bust a move, but that's where we are right now. We can't trust them. So now we're leaving them alone. There are a bunch of groups. All right. When we come together as one group, or we got to set up our own individual agendas and see how we work together. See, that's the answer. The exodus has happened. All right. So with that said, I'm out. I have to run. I'll holler at y'all later.
Like I said, brothers, don't let anyone hustle you into thinking you need game for women. If you need game, then those women that require game are crap for you and can bring you no future. Period. They're looking for a future type, as in the dude with all the baby mamas that have to take care of all them kids but can't be in those children's life because he's screwing so many. All right. So that's basically it. My PayPal, me Cash App, and all this stuff, and the data for all the stuff that I'm speaking on is in the description box. So when you go down there, just look through the links and stuff that I have there. All right. If you like what this channel is doing for the community, your donations would be appreciated. But remember, you take care of yourself and family first before you donate to anyone else. All right. And so with that said, brothers, and whatever sisters watch, I'm out.